All right. Here we go. Ushet, do it for tuning in. Just almost ready to begin. All right. And I believe I have the microphone situation resolved, so it should go better today. And if you are tuning in on TikTok, please tap the screen. There's some sort of competition going on right now, a contest, and I've been told I need you to tap the screen. All right, Uja, melanated people. Uja, my name is Arit, aka Tachia Amet, Tap. And welcome to today's edition of Ancient African Adorations. And we are following the Neterian calendar of holy days that is presented by Temple of Amun. And it's a pretty standard Kemetic holidays. I've been checking other calendars, and there may be a few things that are different, but it's basically the same. And so this week we honor, well, yesterday we had the winter solstice observance with the raising of the Jed Pillar of Asar. And today we begin the Mysticism of Ushet Rekhat, Worship of the Goddess, Festival of Lights. And there are 5 days of this observance, so we'll be here every morning at 6 a.m. Central Time from the 22nd today through the 26th. And I have selected certain goddesses. I don't know what the actual format is. This is my interpretation. So today we're going to be honoring Goddess Maat. On the 23rd, Goddess Aset. The 24th, Nebuchadnezzar. On the 25th, it is called the birthday of Heru, child of Aset, worship of the goddess. So the emphasis will be on Aset and Heru. And then on the 26th, it will be like a procession of many goddesses that weren't honored before. So today we're going to start with Maat. Uja. Hello. Uja. Okay. All right, so let's begin with our opening chant. Uh-oh. Make sure it's still tuned. I bumped it into the light. Okay, yes. All right, so we're going to begin with Om Nebuchadnezzar Capital Asar Om. And that, of course, is in reference to Nebuchadnezzar, the all-encompassing divinity, the all-embracing spirit who pervades all and is all. And when we get to the 4 great truths, we'll go into a little bit of wisdom on that. So Nebuchadnezzar, the all-encompassing divinity that came into creation in the form of Kepra, the creator, and then Kepra is the creator of the gods and goddesses. So Kepra created all the other cosmic forces, and the first Neter that was created, of course, is Maat. And then the first human that Nebuchadnezzar came forth in the form of is Asar, the soul, and we talked about the soul yesterday. Asar. Om Nebuchadnezzar Capital Sorrow. 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 Om Chakra sorrow. The Four Great Truths. I'm so excited because I just discovered that I have another one of another one of Say by Maat's books on my computer. And so for this presentation, I'm having readings from that book. And so I'm like, oh, is it in here? Is it in here? So excited. It's like my winter solstice gift. Okay, so now we're going to have the Four Great Truths of Neterian, and they're presented in many of the books from Sema Institute, and they are in the prayer book of Neterian, the Daily Chant, Songbook, Meditation, and Devotional Worship Manual. And I am not sure that they're still publishing these. I know that if you join their email list, they'll send it to you every day, 3 times a day, to remind you to say your prayers. So this is a reading for Ushet in the morning, taken from the opening prayer A from the ancient Kemetic book of Coming Forth by Day. And what do they say about it in this other reference? Oh, nothing new. Okay, it's the same thing. So, Four Great Truths. There we go. So here's the translation. Oh, that's something else. Okay. Pa Neter Ua Ua Nebajer Neteru. The Neter, the Supreme Being, is one and alone, and is Nebajer, manifesting everywhere and in all things in the form of gods and goddesses. 2. An Maat Sui Sa Ushet Se Kamen. Lack of righteousness brings fetters to the personality, and these fetters lead to ignorance of the divine. 3. Se Washu, Se Nafu, and Sa Ushet. Devotion to the divine leads to freedom from the fetters of Set. 4. Ari Sheti Rek Abim Makaru. The practice of the Sheti disciplines leads to knowing oneself as the divine. This is called being true of speech. So, these 4 great truths are to be recited at the commencement of the daily, monthly, and annual spiritual program. And basically, it outlines the Sheti practice. And so if you follow these 4 steps, like they said, it will lead you to enlightenment, to being true of speech. And this is a melody. There's a melody for the Temple of Neterian, Temple of Ushet, and then this is a melody that came through me. On my arts we shall you said say come in. Say what you say, not fool inside you said. Ushet Rekhat Makeru. Neteru, Nebejedem Neteru. On the odds we sell you said, say come in. Say what you say, not fool inside you said. Ushet Rekhat Makeru. Neteru, Nebejedem Neteru. On the odds we sell you said, say come in. Say what you say, not fool inside you said. Ushet Rekhat Makeru. Neteru, Nebejedem Neteru. On the odds we sell you said, say come in. Say what you say, not fool inside you said. Ushet Rekhat Makeru. Hey! Yes, that one is so enlivening and uplifting and affirming. You know, with the wisdom teachings. We're so fortunate to have access to the teachings, because back in the temple days, only certain people would be allowed to have access to the teachings, and now everyone does, but not everyone is paying attention. So we're fortunate to be among those paying attention. Look like there's a question or a comment. What is going on in here? Okay, what is going on in here? So this is Ancient African Adorations, and it's comedic devotional world music brought to you by AstMaataJi. And we are following the Neterian calendar of holy days. And today is the first day of the Mysticism of Ushet Rekhat, Worship of the Goddess, Festival of Lights. And this is broadcast from AstMaataJi Temple of Divine Light, Healing, and Sweet Sounds, and the Light Being Wellness Center. And so today I'm offering music and wisdom teachings for the goddess Maat, who's the goddess of balance, truth, order, harmony, justice, righteousness, and propriety, also known as righteousness. Yeah. So that's what's going on in here today. I know I've been promising to do a pendulum reading session, and I assure you that after this broadcast, I will definitely be doing that again soon. Yes, indeed. All right. Now let's have a little bit about Goddess Maat before we get into the teachings. So here is the book, the Goddess Book, by Dr. Marta Ashby, where he goes into detail on the goddesses and how to follow the goddess path. Let's have a little reading about what is Ushet Rekhat. Oh, let's get some light on here. Okay. The task of spiritual enlightenment is to reach enlightenment. The task of spiritual life is to reach enlightenment. Enlightenment is the term used to describe the highest level of spiritual awakening or consciousness, where one experiences supreme peace and bliss. It means attaining such a level of spiritual awareness that one discovers the underlying unity of the entire universe, as well as the fact that the source of all creation is the same source from which the innermost self within every human heart arises. The journey of enlightenment implies getting closer to the Supreme Divinity, who is the source of all that exists. Therefore, the images and teachings of mystical wisdom are directed towards developing both an understanding of the divine as well as a devotional feeling for the divine. This twofold movement in reason and emotion leads the spiritual aspirant to discover his or her own innate divinity through the integration of the whole personality. So I will read some more of this introduction on each of the days, because this will take a long time to read the whole thing. All right. So now Goddess Maat. I guess I have to go to the back. You'd think I would know what page it's on by now. Well, it looks like Maat is on basically every page. So let's try these 30s and 40s. Now, I guess I'll just have to... Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Forms of Maat. So here's a picture of Maat. Let's see if we can find the microphone. And she symbolizes a goddess with the ostrich feather on her head. And when the body dies, the heart is weighed against the feather of Maat. And if the heart is heavier than the feather, then you have to come back and be reincarnated and go lighter than the feather of Maat, then you're able to proceed on to eternity. And so we have these 7 principles of Maat, which are balance, truth, order, harmony, justice, righteousness, reciprocity, which I mentioned before. Then we have the 7 virtues of Maat. And then we also have the 42 laws of Maat. And the 42 laws of Maat are the source of the 10 commandments. And I have other presentations where I go into the virtues of Maat and the principles of Maat. So I'm not going to go into those right now. And here's a proverb about Maat. Those who live today will die tomorrow. Those who die tomorrow will be born again. Those who live Maat will never die, will not die. And so living by Maat is the key to enlightenment. Awesome information. Taret weighs your heart. No, it's Maat. Maat is the scale. Maat is the feather. Maat is the scale on which the heart is weighed against. And Anpu and Jehuti are the ones that operate the scale in this tradition. I'm sure there's other traditions, but in this tradition, it's Amit that is sitting by the... Ooh, you know what I have? It's a little distorted. See, we have the scale of Maat, where you have the feather is weighed against the heart. The Ariyu are the impressions stored in the heart from your previous lives and all your thoughts, words, and actions. And if those are heavier than the feather of Maat, then you have to come back. And so then we have, here's Anpu. Here's Anpu. I'm looking at it backwards. And Amit. Yeah, Amit. Looks like there's Anpu on here twice. Anpu is leading the soul to the scale, and then Anpu is at the scale. And then Jehuti is the one that keeps track of everything. And then Haru takes you to see Asar, if you make it. Kind of sounds like a video game. I wonder if that's where they got the idea from. And then standing behind Asar, of course, is Aset and Nebuchadnezzar. And that's the next thing I wanted to talk about is Maati. Maati is one of the forms of Maat, with the dual goddesses of Aset and Nebuchadnezzar. And they represent the 2 snakes on the caduceus, the balancing of the spiritual with the physical. Aset is divine intuition, and Nebuchadnezzar is our mortality and physicality. And in the coming few days, we'll cover those goddesses as well. Right? When Ra emerged, and this is from page 465, when Ra emerged in his spark for the first time and creation came into being, he was standing on the pedestal of Ma'at. Thus the creator Ra lives by Ma'at and has established creation on Ma'at. Who is Ma'at? Ma'at is the form of the goddess who represents the very order which constitutes creation. Therefore, it is said that Ra created the universe by putting Ma'at in the place of chaos. So creation itself is Ma'at. Creation without order is chaos. Ma'at is a profound teaching in reference to the nature of creation and the manner in which human conduct should be cultivated. It refers to a deep understanding of divinity and the manner in which virtuous qualities can be developed in the human heart so as to come closer to the divine. So there, in that sentence, it referred to the profound teaching and the human conduct, the manner of human conduct which should be maintained. Those are the 42 precepts or the 42 laws of Maat. And then they said, living in this manner in which virtuous qualities can be developed, those are the 10 virtues of Maat. And again, I refer you to previous presentations. If there's time, I'll go over them. But I've noticed that I spend a lot of time talking about the teachings. I want to stay on the music. So for more information, see the other videos or go to EgyptianYogi.com. Okay. All right, so now it's time for more music. And we're going to have a triple Maatian blessing. Uja. Dua, dua, dua. Anpu. You know, I have a song for Anpu. Let me just go ahead and offer that really quick. That's also in the Chateau Netter devotional manual. I just took the words and put it to music. It's English, so I don't have to read the translation. Oh, Anpu, opener of the ways. Oh, Anpu, opener of the ways. Remove obstacles to my success in my spiritual practice. Oh, Anpu, opener of the ways. Oh, Anpu, opener of the ways. Lead souls through the narrow pathways to know the difference between real and unreal. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. Merchants between heaven and hell. Face black as night, golden as the day. If we watch it by night as by day. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. May Anpu make my thighs firm so that I can stand upon them. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. I've washed myself in the waters where Anpu washed himself, where he was the officer of embalmer and bandager. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. Oh, Anpu, open the ways. My lips are the lips of Anpu. 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 A tap. So there was offering to Anpu. I'm looking at it backwards, so apologize. Over here, sitting right at the scale. Here, leading the initiate to the scale. And then working the scale. And then Amit, which is 3 deities in one, or 3 animals in one. If your heart is heavier than the scale of Maat, then Amit will eat your heart. It's not good. But if you pass the test, then you move on to see Asar in the Netherlands. And behind Asar is the 2 goddesses of Maat, Maati, Aset, and Nebuchadnezzar. Okay. All right, so we're moving on to the triple Maat blessing. The first 2 is the 3 Maat songs in one, the same music, different melodies. And 2 of them are listed in this book. One of them is an original tune by Shamsarit. So here's the translation from opening prayer area from the opening. Slow down. Let's take a moment. My teacher taught me this chant. I made a breathing exercise where you inhale, balance, truth, order, and then hold it for harmony, and exhale, justice, truth, righteousness. I changed it a little bit. This is the AstMaataJi version. So we're going to inhale, balance, truth, order, hold it, harmony, exhale, justice, righteousness, reciprocity. Inhale, balance, truth, order. Hold it for harmony. Exhale, justice, reciprocity, and righteousness. One more. Inhale, balance, truth, order. Hold it on harmony. Exhale, justice, reciprocity, and righteousness. There we go. Yeah, because I was just so excited. I was getting ahead of myself. So this is a melody that's a combination of the melodies learned by Dr. Maat and the beloved Uabratim. May he rest in peace, power, music, love, wisdom. Adorations to Ra when he rises in horizon eastern. Homage to Ra coming forth as Kepara, Kepara, creator of the gods and goddesses, rising thee, shining thee, lighting up thy mother, rising as Lord, King of the gods and goddesses. Your mother Nut does an act of worship to you with both arms. Manu, the western horizon, receives thee in peace, and Maat embraces thee at the double season perennially. And then part 2 of this Maatical medley. Maat is the source of life. Maat is in everywhere you are. Rise in the morning with Maat. Live with Maat. Let every limb join with Maat. Let her guide your actions. Adorations to Goddess Maat, who is in everywhere you are. And then the third part is keep your heart as light as a feather. My voice is extra raspy today. So it's become a tradition in these live streams. Someone always asks, so I'm just going to say, today I am drinking peach detox tea. If anybody's asking. Or wondering, no one has asked so far. Okay, where'd you go, heart? Let me take off my glasses. Oh, you know what? I forgot to tune in. Check in on YouTube because I have my wisdom teachings up. Okay, yeah, it's still broadcasting. Oops. Okay. Oh. Du ben FM, I can't do that in bed. On the Tesla KTM Capra. Capra, Keman, Neteru. Kake, Uben, K, Blessed Mood, K. KTM, Sultan, Neteru. Itty neck, mood, IDM, itty knee, knee. Manu and my tap, to my atatra. Do what I kept, to ben up, and my kids are getting bed. On a Tesla, KTM, Capra. Capra, came on, Neteru. Tua. Kake, Uben, K, Blessed Mood, K. KTM, Sultan, Neteru. Itty neck, mood, IDM, itty knee, knee. Manu and my tap, to my atatra. Maatan kumat, maat nebuten, kahina maat, ankina maat, hasima maat, dua maat nebuten. Maatan kumat, maat nebuten, kahina maat, Ankin Maat, Hasim Maat, Dua Maat Nebutin. Maat Nebutin, Kahin Maat, Ankin Maat, Hasim Maat, Dua Maat Nebutin. Maat Kumat, Maat Nebutin, Kahin Maat, Ankin Maat, Nebutin, Dua Maat Nebutin, Dua Maat Nebutin, Dua Maat Nebutin, Dua Maat Nebutin. All right, here we go. Keep your heart as light as a feather. Do a mind. Keep your heart as light as a feather. Do a mind. To know the difference between what's real and unreal. Do unprove. To know the difference between what's real and unreal. Do unprove. Do unprove. Do light as a Nupuma. Makes my heart as light as a feather. Nupuma. I know the difference between what's real and unreal. Nupuampu. I know the difference between what's real and unreal. Nupuampu. Light as a feather. Real and unreal. Do a Maat. Do a Anpu. Nupuma. Nupuanpu. Hey. Tap. Do a Maat. Do a Anpu. Yes, that is a wonderful trilogy to my eye, and I so appreciate all the love you've been sending me on the little screens here. I'm gonna see if I can read some of these comments. Somebody has been sending love bombs. What instrument is this? Beautiful. This is called a sapriwa. It's a harp from Ghana, and it is. I purchased it from brother there in Ghana, Louis Afrifa, Afrifa, and he makes sapriwas, he makes encades, he makes quartas, he makes all the ancient traditional string instruments. And I had posted a picture of the harp that I got from Seba Ma and AstMaataJi that it had busted the first day I was going to perform it with it live at a concert. And he saw my post and said that he can, he makes these. So I love my sapriwa. It's when I reach for it, this may sound crazy. It's the same way I feel when I reach for a watermelon or a piece of watermelon. It's like, yes, that is my thing. Watermelon is my thing, and this harp is my thing. I still play the piano and the keyboard. However, this instrument is just, it's just amazing. Okay, well, we've got more music, so let's keep going with these questions. And melanated people. How was that? A folk song of sorts. Yes, you could call it a folk song. Those are devotional chants. The first two, like I say, are from the prayer book of Neterian, and then the third one is my own composition based on wisdom teachings. So you could call it Neterian folk music. That's funny. I have a CD called Celestial Folk Music because all the songs are about stars. So maybe one day I'll call this Neterian folk music. Thank you. It will be on my next devotional music CD. Mystical Maatical Music is Blue Lotus Speaks Volume 2. What instrument is that? So beautiful. Dua, Nefer, love it. Thank you. I love you all too. I love you for being here. Thank you. All right, so let's get back to the teachings. Page 261. So the book that I was saying that I just discovered is on my computer is the Tree of Life book. And I did not know I had it on my computer. Someone must have sent it to me as a gift. Okay. So the version in this book comes with a gloss, which is exciting to me. I didn't come across the gloss before. I just know it from the Temple book. So I'm going to read the translation. And these are prayers that are to be cited regularly. It's a 3-day practice. Yeah, as soon as it's released, I've had so many, there's been a lot of obstacles getting this one recorded, even just getting the first song recorded. So I'm sure it's going to be very powerful, because that's usually when we have lots of glitches like that. It's because it's going to be super amazing. Thank you. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Hello, beautiful person. Thank you for being here. Otherwise, it would just be rehearsal. Or it would be my devotion practice. I won't say just be rehearsal, because these are songs that I offer during my devotion. But it's nice to share them in this concert form, wisdom teaching sharing. I mean, this is basically what I do during my devotion, is I look up wisdom teachings and make offerings of the music. Sometimes I get obsessed and write a new song. And that's what these sessions are for me, is I always write new music. Okay, so here's the translation. This is Adorations to Ra Hirakuti from the hymn to Aten. From the hymn to Aten by Akhenaten. Dua Ankh Hirakuti Ha Im Aket. Adorations to the living Heru in the 2 horizons, residing in the horizon. Im Ren F Shu Im Aten. In his name of Shu in the form of the sun disk, Diank Jeta He, giving life forever and for eternity. In Sutin Ankh Im Maat Neptawi. This praise is sung to the king. This praise is sung by the king Akhenaten, the living in righteousness, Lord of the 2 lands, ancient Kemet, the good king in his name, creator one with God. So if you've been following these recent presentations, you know that whenever a king or a pharaoh or a royal personality is making offerings to the gods and goddesses, that is a royal personality. And that's us also. You don't have to be a king to be a royal personality. Royal personality is someone that's enlightened or someone on the road to enlightenment. And when we're making offerings to the deities, to the Neteru, to the cosmic forces of nature, we're actually making offerings to our higher self. And it represents the oneness that we share when you're making offerings. Right? So this is a melody from the Temple of Dua Ankhedakuti Haim Aket Em Renef Em Shu Em Aten Diank Jeta He En Suten Ankh En Neptawi Nefer Keperura lyrics in front of me. Sometimes I get nervous and I forget what I know. I'm happy you made it here too. Dua Ankhedakuti Ha Im Haket Im Renef Im Shu Diank Jeta He En Suten Ankh Im AstMaataJi Nefer Keperura Ua In Ra Dua Ankhedakuti Ha Im Aket Neptawi I usually don't play that with the drum, so I was a little mixed up there. So some of the songs that I'm offering are already recorded and released on Blue Lotus Speaks Volume 1, the opening, and you can find that on Spotify and YouTube. And that CD was recording back in the day when all I had was an out-of-tune piano. I didn't have these other instruments. And I had just separated or divorced my music partner that we had been doing reggae music for a few decades. And he was the one in charge of the recording. And I didn't know how to, go arrange to go to a studio. So my daughter said, Mom, just record it on GarageBand. Put it out on Bandcamp. Put it out. And a lot of my friends from the temple wanted it out too. So I put it out. It's probably the worst quality recording you'll ever hear on Spotify. I'm still amazed that they released it. But the music is very powerful. And now I have, access to a studio and mixer, and I have a really good microphone here in my home studio. So the next volume will be released in 2022. And then the songs that I have written and have not gone into the professional studio, you can find those at my Bandcamp page. Like when I write a new song on these sessions and then I record it on GarageBand, it's not mixed or mastered, and it's just a songwriter's version. But you can find the music with the wisdom teachings posted in the lyrics, and that's very beautiful. It's bandcamp.com/Tachia Amet. I'm not sure. It'll be on my link tree. Yeah. Okay. A tap. Moving right along. So, melanated people, after the next song, I will end out this broadcast and then start another one, because these are only an hour, and because I present teachings and then I talk, they're usually an hour and a half. Yesterday it went 2 hours because people had questions. It was amazing. Okay, beautiful devotionals. Oh, speaking of devotion, I don't think you can see it. See if I can move it over. I don't think you. Well, just turn the camera. I have a little mini altar to Maat. I have the feather of Maat here. And so its heart can be weighed as light as a feather. And behind me, I have, it's hard to see on the phone, but this is an image from the Temple of Asar at Abydos, and it's an image of the goddess Maat making an offering. She's holding up her hands like this, and Maat is the goddess of music, and so she's one of my tutelary divinities. I have an altar set up to her in my music room, so I'm making musical offerings right now, holding up the bowl. Maat holds up her bowl. She makes her offerings, and then her bowl is filled with abundance and prosperity by her husband, Hapi. Hapi is the name of the Nile River. Nile is Arabic. Hapi is the name of the Nile River, and it represents the flow of abundance. Well, it represents many things. One of the things is the flow of abundance. All right. 10 minutes to go on this broadcast. Oh, so after the next song, Melanated People, I will switch out and start a new broadcast. All right, so basically that was the introduction, believe it or not. Now, page 82, we're going to get into the wisdom teachings. Page 82 of the Tree of Life book. It doesn't seem to be what I thought it was going to be. Maybe it's at the bottom of the page. Nope. Okay, what are you talking about? Maat chaos on Maat. maybe it's 2. Oh no, it was page 82. Haha. The cursor on this is a little bizarre, so please bear with us. It doesn't go where you want it to go. It goes where it wants to go. Stop, stop, stop. Come on. Come back to me. I went to page 89. See what I mean? Okay, let's try this one more time. Page 82. 88. That's the thing about having things on the computer is sometimes the computer doesn't work. Or it freezes. Just please bear with us. We're coming around. Okay. Coming back to reality now. Well, it's stuck on page 88. So does anyone have any questions while I'm trying to get this to go back to page 88? Maybe I have to close it out and open it up again. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. It won't even let me close it out. All right, well, we'll just come back to that one. We've got other teachings. Oh, you stopped? Okay, no. All right, I'm not going to sweat it. We'll just go to the song and then come back to the teaching. How about that? Okay. Got stuff all over the place. All right, so this song, it is from the teachings of Amenemope. And if you study with Say by Ma, they have a wonderful lecture series on all of the wisdom of Amenemope. 7 minutes. And so this song is just it's like the highlights of some of the teachings. And the most important one is the first 2 lines. I have that written out. Oh my goodness. Early neck. I know I had it open. I can show you some more Maatian order. I'm doing these presentations. I'm doing my best. I don't even see the lyrics. I know I had it all pulled out. Oh, here it is. Okay. I found them. Okay, so the first line, early necked. Well, see, I need the songbook. I need to hire a intern to help me put together all of this music in one place because sometimes I have a hard time keeping up with where everything is. Like right now, I can't find the translation. Here. It's supposed to be on the cover. Okay. Just have to do my best. Okay, so Ahet Atenu. Grant me, Atenu is the sky, the sun god. Erdi necked, grant me spiritual strength, well-being, and health. So this is a prayer for well-being, a chant for well-being. And then the next line, Ban Ban, it's a play on words. Ban means like ban. So we're saying Ban Ban, all acts against Maat. Ban Ban, actions against Maat. And then a thing that can block us from our well-being is when Set takes over. And so Amenemope talks about Set's tempest, like the storm of egoism that takes over. And that's Karau Set, Set's tempest, Karau Set. And then Set sheds crocodile tears. So when egoism has been pointed out to someone, you know, or when you're like in the state of unrest and you're able to still yourself and harmonize your mind and your heart, you come back into the oneness. Set sheds crocodile tears because he's no longer like running the boat, running the show. So that's like when we lash out about change or things that we don't like, that's our egoism shedding crocodile tears, because if we're enlightened, we know that it's not real anyway, and we're just crying. It's just our ego crying. It was studying with these preceptors that they were able to point out my egoism to me, because egoism is also being shy and timid and saying, oh, I don't know, or doubting yourself, or, you know, panicking when you can't remember your password, or, you know, things like that. And they really brought this out of me. That's, you know, so when I get upset, I'm like, oh, there's a crocodile tears. So that's Nasheni mess. That's crocodile agitation. Set is represented by a crocodile sometimes. And so that's when your ego is agitated and you're just like, you know, you're like, you know, like when you have a glass and if you play a opera singer sings, and if it's at the right frequency, it'll resonate, it'll vibrate, and then it'll shatter. So when you hear the right music, like that's what these offerings are about, or the right teachings, or the right action, the right whatever's at the right vibration, it'll cause this agitation within you, because your higher self, your royal personality, is trying to like detach from egoism and like, oh no, that's not me, that's my egoism. And then that's when the royal personality makes offerings to give thanks for having this awareness. I'm rambling. But anyway, that's crocodile agitation. Set sheds crocodile tears. And the next line is Dua Aset, the storm calmer, because that's one of Aset's affinities, is to be able to calm the storm of egoism. And, you know, like when you remember the story of Heru, when he has to battle Set, Set has a way to, what's the term? Like when one gets upper hand, Set comes in and evens things out again, so that the battle is Maat. You know, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, but Aset is the storm calmer and the crocodile tamer. Okay, and then it goes to Ban again, and there's a few more lines and verses. I haven't mastered those yet, so I'm not going to try to offer them. But this is one of my favorite new songs, and this song is in its entirety available on Bandcamp with the keyboards. Like when I write songs, sometimes I have to write them with the keyboard because that's my first instrument. And when this song was coming through, it wasn't coming through on the harp, so I recorded it on the piano. And now I've learned it on the harp as well. But I'm going to be recording some of the songs on the harp. Uh-oh. Okay, melanated people, I'm going to switch over now because there's 1 minute to go. So everyone, please stand by while I transition over to the next episode. And then we'll start a new one. Okay. They put magical. I was typing magical. It is magical. Okay. So hopefully those people will remember what I said about jumping off and starting a new one. Okay. All right, so this is a very wonderful song, and I'm so grateful and honored that this song came through me, because it's been such a big help to me when I was going through all this. I would just sing it over and over and over and over and over again, and then I could catch my crocodile tears and tune into the goddess Aset. Ahet Atenu Tenu Erdine Sine Erdine Ujatsine. And Nefer, that's a heck out for well-being, prosperity, health, protection, most importantly, spiritual strength for when set strikes. We have the strength to fight back on Maat. We have the strength to get out, blow aside Set's tempest. One of the teachings is to turn away from heated people and remain silent. Amenemope's wisdom teachings, in my opinion, are at the heart and foundation of what we know as Aesop's fables. I sincerely believe that Jehuti's teachings and Amenemope's teachings got attributed to Aesop, who I found out a few days ago was a Greek slave with very curly hair living at the time of 650 BC to 520 BC, somewhere around the time when Kemet was, being invaded. And the Greeks, when they first occupied Kemet, the early Greek Egyptians, because that's when the name became Egypt, were trying to uphold the traditions. And they are reason why we still have some of the wisdom that would have otherwise been lost, because they held on to the wisdom that became known as the mystery teachings. Okay, that was me, a little side digression. Okay, so this went all the way back to the beginning. So let's try it again. Page 82. Oh, here we go. Page 82. Okay. Now use the cursor. Okay. Oh, that was too much. It went from 82 to 95. No, not 87. 82. It's at the bottom of the page, so maybe if I make the page smaller. Shouldn't have to go through this. It's just a sign to me that it's very powerful and important. Okay. I'm really sorry about this. Okay. Okay, it's working. It's very slow. The pyramids were satellites, compass maps to the universe, outer space. And they contain the map to the universe of inner space, which is way more important than outer space. They contain the formulas and instructions on how to attain enlightenment before your body dies, which is way more important than the outer universe, because the outer universe, the creation, is an illusion due to time and space. It's not real. So yes, it's important to know the map of the outer world, but it's more important to have the map for the inner world. And the tree of life is a map through the cosmic forces, through the Neters, the Neteru. Then Aset left us instructions in the myth of Ra and Aset. And in this teaching, Tree of Life, I saw another set of instructions. So yes, the pyramids are definitely maps, but they're maps to the inner world and the outer world. And they're the maps to life after death. And that's more important than the galaxies, because the galaxies are going to die too. Okay, so now it's doing its thing where it's just scrolling randomly at will. I don't know how to get it to stop. So maybe I can read real fast. Okay. Duat means netherworld. Remember that all of the following... Help. don't know what to say about this. I'm going to try one more time, and then I'm going to have to move on, and because this is too annoying. Okay, let's go to the cursor. Like I said, it must be really important if it's this difficult to access. Just have to remember Anpu, the opener of the way. When it comes up, I'm going to start reading it very quickly. I went to page 83. Why can't you go to page 82? Okay, now this way. 82. Maybe this will work. I'm really sorry about this. Okay, this way. Okay, here's some arrows I hadn't seen before. Come on. Oh! Went back to the beginning. All right, well, I apologize. We're not going to be able to... Oh, wait, page 80. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to mess with that. Not today. What is next? I think all the teachings I had were from there. So it looks like it's just going to be music. No more teachings. Because the music is based on teaching, so we're fine. All right, so this one is... I feel like... Maat. This is some steps to purify your heart. Remember earlier we were talking about keeping the heart as light as a feather. Here are some other instructions. Thank you, Joshua. These are some other steps from the Book of Breathings by Jehuti. That's where I found these teachings. Volume 2 of the Volume 2. This is his Egyptian Book of the Dead, Volume 2. Volume 2 is all about Maat. So that's where, wish I had it in this book, the reading I was trying to find on the computer. Maybe that's a sign for me to stop trying to find them on the computer, because that happens a lot. So I think that has the page number, page 126. 126. Yeah, I prefer books. That's why I didn't even know that that book was on my computer. Page 126. That's not page. Oh, that's 115. And if you're asking about my crazy spectacles, these are pinhole glasses. They have holes in them that force your eyes to focus rather than magnify what you look at, which makes your eyes weaker. And these make your eyes stronger. So this is the section where it's breaking down what we already talked about, the scale of Maat, the judgment hall. Teachings of Mary Ka Ra. Mary means beloved. Ka is spirit. Right? And Ra is the sun, creator. I think Ba is soul, Ka is spirit. Like Merkaba, only this is Mary Ka Ra. And I don't know if I've talked about Ariyu before. What are the glasses called? Pinhole glasses. You can find them at lightbeingwellness.com/shop at my website. I've been wearing them since the year 2003. So Ariyu is the container that's weighed against the feather of Maat. And this container is a symbol for your heart. It's a vessel of your heart that contains your Ariyu, your Ari. And the Ari are all the impressions from your past life. Like the concept of karma from the Hindu tradition is similar, but it's only based on your actions. We are light beings, and we're responsible for everything that we project. That includes our thoughts, our words, our feelings, our desires, our longings, our griefs, our regrets, our sadness, our egoism. And when your body dies, your heart, your ab is the word for heart, and it's symbolized by that little vessel, is weighed against the feather. I you know what? I even have a vase I got in Kemet that I use for my ab. And I usually, look at that. Isn't it beautiful? So here we go. The heart weighed against the feather. And I have some wheat from Abydos. So your heart is weighed against the feather of Maat. And if your heart is heavy with grief, sadness, bitterness, jealousy, regret, unfinished business. Oh, I left $1 million buried in the ground, and I couldn't find it before I died, and I can't leave the earth until I find it. You know, or you know, your spouse cheated on you, and you got drunk and had a car accident, and your soul is like wandering around, still upset about what happened. Those kind of things. Those are the type of beliefs, feelings, desires, and thoughts and actions that we have to literally rip out of us so that our heart is light as a feather. And we're talking about fighting Set, basically. And so these are some steps for purifying the heart. Can't lose a whole book. If anyone can, I can. Oh, I know. I reached across the table. Oh, I put it on the table behind me. Okay. Page 126. All right. So the REU. Definition of REU. Action deed is RE. REU is actions and deeds, plural. Residue remaining impressions from experiences of actions from early today, from earlier in this life, from past lives, and even ancestral REU. We get ancestral REU, like trauma from our ancestors. You know, until it's dealt with energetically, it remains in our energy field, in our REU. And then here's quality of REU. Ucha. Happy, positive actions and feelings. This is egoistic REU, different degrees of egoism in our REU. Unhappy or traumatic actions and feelings. Mixed, happy and unhappy. Enlightening, lucid residue, remaining impressions from experience of actions and feelings from the past based on knowing, intuitional wisdom, and enlightening feelings of self-knowledge and spiritual awakening. One thing I love about the Medu Neter is there's like one word or one image that's packed with meaning and significance. For example, knowing, intuition of wisdom, and enlightening feelings of self-knowledge and spiritual awakening. It's not enough to know something. You have to also feel it, like know it by heart. You know it in your heart. The word for that is Sa'a, S-A-A. Sa'a, or knowing, intuition of wisdom, and enlightening feelings of self-knowledge and spiritual awakening. That's why it's easy for me to write music when in the Medu Neter, because you pack it all in just one or two phrases. So I have a question. What language is that? That is the Medu Neter. That is the language of the hieroglyphs. The original language of Kemet. It didn't have vowels. That's where like the Hebrew language is kind of similar, because I guess most of them are. They didn't have vowels. You had to, you sound out the vowel, and the different vowel sound can change the meaning of the word, even if they have the same consonants. So the lyrics of this song, and I just took this list here. I was reading this list here, and I was like, that sounds like a song. I'm going to make a song from it. I don't make songs. Songs come through me. So these are definitions on the path of righteousness. Ma'at, righteous action. Abba'a, heart's egoistic desire. That's something that we need to kill out, because we only want to project and express the desires of the Neters, of Nebuchadnezzar, of our higher self. We want to purify our heart, want to purify our minds, purify our thoughts. Here's a bit of wisdom teaching that's not from Chateau Neter or Temple of Ushet. It's from a man named Greg Braden. And he was teaching about the heart and the mind harmonizing, oneness. Because people talk about how your heart and mind are disconnected. And I've come across information from him and other sources that the brain is also split in two. And AstMaataJi teaches us that the egoism resides in the brain, in our mind, and we can't trust our thoughts. Our thoughts could be coming from our RU. And we have three minds. Really, we have the cosmic mind of Jehuti, which is filling our infinite mind, which we use to project our reality. But if we're out of touch with our infinite mind and Lord Jehuti, then we're only dealing with the mind and our brain and our day-to-day activities, and we allow our egoism to rule our lives. However, the heart is also made of brain cells, and we have a heart. We have a brain in our heart. They call it the little brain in the heart. There's a Cherokee tradition where you drop into your. I know people say don't trust your feelings, but your feelings come from within you. They're like your response, your internal response to things going on around you, and your emotions are how you react, right? Your feelings you feel. So you've got to know and feel to actually know the essence. So your mind and your heart have to be united. And your mind, you can't be going back and forth between the two halves of your brain. You have to drop into your heart and see what you feel, and then you can express how you think about what you feel. This is wisdom coming from my journey as coming back from trauma and really healing. And it took a combination of all these teachings and this song I'm about to offer right now. Okay, so Abba Ab is your heart's egoistic desire, not your purified heart desire, not your Maat desire, not your royal personality desire, not your higher self desire. So there's a distinction. Menku is good deeds, righteous actions, fine woodworking, the detail when you're, when they did the scribing of the pyramids, fine detail, getting out that last drop of APEP or that last tiny drop of egoism. That's all it is rooting it out, pulling it out by the root. You don't want to just cut it down. You want to pull it out so it doesn't come back, because we don't want to have to come back we don't want to have to reincarnate. What language is that? Yes, I've been giving the English translation and then offering the chant. Sometimes people read the chant after, the translation after, but that's for people who already know. For people who don't know, I think it's helpful to know what it is before. So Menku, good deeds, righteous action, fine woodworking. Menk Ab, positive disposition, fine meticulous crafting of heart, right thinking, and right feeling. And then Maat, M-A-T, right feeling, goodness, integrity, uprightness. Mu'ab, cool down, as opposed to being hot-minded, cleanse the heart. Last but not least, Ma'at Ab, righteous, true of heart. Okay. And in the future, I'll have, one just about the 42 precepts of Ma'at. I do have a chant for them, and I want to have one for Dr. Ashby's versions as well. Okay, so let's offer this beautiful song. This is another one of the songs that'll be on the Mystical Mystical Musical CD. I guess I have to add magical. And my voice is really raspy. We had our winter solstice observance last night, and it's the longest night. So we were up really late, and then I got up really early. So I hope you like raspy quality voices. I can't really see it with these glasses so good. Nukma Ma'at Ab. Maat's purification of the heart. You know, that reminds me that when I first started doing these ancient African adoration concerts during COVID, I did one. Probably the best one was Purification. That was like the bomb. Then I did Ma'at Purification, which was also incredible. I think the first one I did was the breath, because they were saying that COVID was attacking the lungs, and I was like, oh, we need corona wellness, we need corona wellness. So I did the breath concert. So those three, the first three that I did were, they're still online. You know, they're there on my YouTube channel if you have time. They're like an hour and a half. And then I did one from Egypt when I was in Kemet that was a little mysterious. There was some kind of supernatural things going on. But those early ones were fantastic. And then I kind of went on Ma'at, and those were free. And then I started trying to charge money. And then that's when my egoism came out, because I didn't feel right charging money, but I felt like I should be compensated. And it was something I've been fighting with my music for decades, because my reggae music was very reggae and spiritual, and it wasn't commercial. And Say by My pointed out to me that I was trying to commodify my music. And then I stopped everything and did a lot of soul searching and heart purification. And now I'm back to making musical offerings, because when I make musical offering, it purifies my RU. See, I needed a formula, and that's the formula. When I share my gifts, I raise my affluence, I radiate abundance, and I attract more than what is needed to be able to continue to share these gifts. And then the other day for the winter solstice, I was out at the lake and I did the ceremony offering chants and sound healing and music from the indigenous people of the four directions, including Kemet. And afterwards, I was, you know, in times like that, you reflect your whole life and choices you made and decisions and how things are playing out and how to be at peace with everything the way it is. And I was wondering if I went through all that just to come to the point where, you know, I am to continue doing the music and to not judge its value based on the money that it brings in. Because another thing I learned is money is energy. It's an emotion. You can't make energy. Energy is only cannot be created or destroyed. So why have I been trying to make music by commodifying my gifts for so long? So it came yesterday is, well, I exist in order to make these musical offerings of the wisdom teachings. And I make these musical offerings because I exist. Wow. That was my winter solstice alignment. So I'm just operating from that. Okay, we got a few more songs. I guess this might be another 2-hour live stream. So this is a chant, original chant. It's not from any. It's from the AstMaataJi Temple of Divine Light, Healing, and Sweet Sounds. It's not from a Neterian temple. And I had started this practice of all Ma'at Ari because I wanted to purify my RU. So I had this whole Ma'at practice about Ma'at and the RU and the 42 laws. And I was like, oh yes, I made so much progress. And then my spiritual practice evolved, you know, so it's good to come back to this particular form of my practice. And the CD will have all of these songs on it. It's going to be awesome. Okay, so the lyrics. Nuk Ma'at Ari. I am making offerings to Goddess Ma'at. Nuk Makeru. I am true of speech. I am spiritually victorious. Nuk Ma'at Jehuti. Right? I am Ma'at and Jehuti. Ma'at cleanses my mouth. I learned this from Queen Afua. The feather Ma'at, you visualize it cleaning the inside of your mouth, purifying your words, your speech, you know, your thought, purifying your brain. I visualize the feather of Ma'at, getting out those cobwebs out of my mind. And then Jehuti chooses my words. Jehuti, I learned this from Sebaja. You allow Jehuti to make your to-do list. You tune into the cosmic mind to know what is the next step, not your ego. Because your ego, like when I wake up, there's like a million things I want to do. And I sit there like, what should I do first? And then I go through my process before I get out of bed and go do the first thing. Nuk Maat Jehuti. And then the last line, Nuk Arit Maat Amun. I make offerings to the god Amun. We were taught by AstMaataJi. There's a place at Palace at Luxor where the royal personality is making offerings to Amun, and the inscriptions say you're making offerings of your lower nature, you're making offerings of your egoism, you're making offerings of the things you like and don't like. Because even having likes and dislikes is egoism, because we're not really supposed to like anything, because everything is one. We have things we resonate with and things that are good for us, but we're not supposed to have judgment, because that's duality. When you introduce judgment, you stay in the duality. So you offer your likes and your dislikes. I offer things I like about the music business and things I don't like about the music business. And that way, I don't let my egoism taint my musical offerings. I hope that makes sense to you. So that's a chant that I have for myself. Uh-oh. See, I haven't played in a while. Look my tari, look my keru, look my joti, look I read my tamun, look my tari, look my keru, look my joti, look I read my tamun, look my kari, look my keru, look my joti, look I read my tamun. I'm gonna go a little slower so we can get the words. Because I sing all three parts of harmony, I'm gonna go to the lower register. That's still the same tempo. Nuk matari, nuk makeru, nuk machoti, nuk arit matamun, nuk matari, nuk makeru, nuk machoti, nuk arit matamun, nuk matari, Nuk makeru, nuk machoti, nuk arit matamun, nuk matari, nuk makeru, nuk machoti, nuk arit matamun. I'm gonna go back high. I like them both. Nuk matari, nuk makeru, nuk machoti, nuk arit matamun, nuk matari, nuk makeru, nuk machoti, nuk arit matamun. One more time. Nuk matari, nuk makeru, nuk machoti, nuk arit matamun, nuk matari, nuk makeru, nuk machoti. Nukarit matamu. A tap. Right. Yes, the language. Okay. I've just got a few more. Well, yes, I have a few more. I don't know if I should do all these. What time do we start? 6? I'm going to stop at 8, even whether I finish or not, because we got other things to do. All right, so this is a chant from Temple of Neter, Temple of Ushet, Om Maati Ma'akeru. And it's one where we can do call and response, because that's usually how this is done. And it means adorations to Goddess Maati, which I talked about before, is the dual goddesses of Ushet and Nebuchadnezzar. Adorations to Goddess Maati, the dual goddesses of Ushet and Nebuchadnezzar, above and below, heaven and earth, spirituality and mortality. Assist us in attaining spiritual enlightenment. Makaru is true of speech, spiritual victory, enlightenment. And this is the one that I use to make sure my harp is in tune, because I just... Om Maati Ma'akeru. 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 Oh goodness. Om Maati Ma'akeru. The one divine self manifesting as the dual goddesses of truth, above and below, heaven and earth, assist us in attaining spiritual enlightenment. Oh, right. Page 105. I'm not going to try to go through the teachings anymore. I'm just going to do a few more songs, because that scrolling wasted some time. All right. So I want to do one a little different, because now I know I brought my system. Okay, I'm going to have to stand up. It's somewhere in front of me. Let's get to stand up. Okay, where did it go? Maybe I didn't bring it. think there was a reading that I did once. Let me just try. Because there was a reason I was going to do this song. Maybe if it's at the top of the page. We were having problems because it was at the bottom of the page. All right. What page was that? 126. 38. Yeah. Because if I can't get to the teaching, then I won't do this one. 38. It's going through some changes. Oh, it's kind of... Oh, my battery's going to run out soon. Oh, wow. All right. Well, it's definitely time to get on with it. So we'll just save those for next time. See if we can keep this going in for a few more songs. Let me just get the closing one. Oh, come on. Go. That crazy scroll is still going nuts. That just means I need to buy these books and not rely on the internet. Oh. Whoa. Okay. All right. Let's see. Nope, not happening. Okay. Well, I'm going to do this little chant that came through for the 7 chakras. There was a reading about the Ushet Maat, the dual goddesses of Ushet and Nebuchadnezzar, right? And how they go up the spinal column. So this is a chant that I made to help me learn the chakras in the Meta Nectar. And I'm going to play the sistrum because this represents the 4 upper chakras, Aritus. And I apologize I can't read the teaching, but I still want you to have it. And these are on bandcamp.com. Sefeket tek ab kepera sekemer x. Sefeket tek ob kepera sekemer x. And it's starting at the root chakra. So the Sefik is the root chakra. Tek is the solar plexus. Tek is the creativity chakra. Ob is the solar plexus. Kepara is the heart chakra. Sekem is the throat chakra, where we're talking about Maat, purifying your words, purifying words. Mer, which is the word for love, but it's also the word for the first eye. And Ik is illumination, the crown. I forgot to let you chant with me on Hall of Maati Markeru. Oh well. Sefiket tek ob kepera sekemer ik. 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 Right. And so now we're going to move into the Hall of Maati. Okay, so we have Maat, we have Maat, and we have the Hall of Maati, which is the balancing of the spiritual and physical. Because that is one thing that was going on with me, is I felt like I was giving a lot of attention to my spiritual life, but not enough to my practical, because I wanted my practical life to be spiritualized rather than normalizing my spiritual life, because I don't want to be normal. I don't want to normalize. I don't want to be normal. So here are some chants from my personal Maati practice, because Maati is part of my Kemetic name. And just a few weeks ago, I was like, wait a minute, I need to be making offerings to Maati, Ushet, and Nebuchadnezzar, not just Ushet. And that's when things really started opening up for me. Like, things really started to change for me when I did that. Okay, so the translation. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. I know why I couldn't find those lyrics earlier. They're in my other music book. Sorry, hold on. Okay, yeah, I cleaned my house and now I don't know where everything is, so it's over here. Just 1 minute. These are really nice songs coming up. Oh, I haven't shared them publicly. There we go. Yeah, I forgot momentarily that I had made a special folder for my Maati devotion. Sorry. I'm still here. Just a few more songs to go. It's a marathon. This is not, I didn't type it up yet. I have no idea that. Nope, I don't have the translation. Let's see if I can figure it out. I find it hard to believe I don't have it. Oh, here it is. Okay, I got it. All right. Mary, so these are some chants for Maati. This first one came from when I was at the shrine or temple of Mary Ra, and that's where there's an image of the harpist playing the harp, the blind harpist. I went on a musical initiatic journey. So this tune is for Mary Maati, myself, and Mary Ra, two of my favorite harpists. Haha. So it's beloved of Maati, beloved of Ra. Mary Maati, Mary 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 Ra. Not right now, Sybil. 2 songs to go. A few more to go. I know you've been waiting a long time. I didn't expect this to go. No, not yet. These are short. I promise you, these are short. Okay, Mary Maati, Mary Ra. Then Matiyu M. Mary Maati. No. Okay. Se Abu Tuke Matiyu U.M. Use Ketit At. And that came from the late period Part Immeru Book of Breathing, Teachings of Purification in the Hall of Maati. That's the book of Jehuti. And the translation: when you entered the great hall of Maati, the 2 goddesses of righteousness, order, and truth of above and below, the dual existence in time and space, rendered you pure of all unrighteousness. So anytime you go into the consciousness of the hall of Maati, you are rendered pure of all unrighteousness. So this is a chant of purification. Okay. 5 minutes. Oh my goodness. Seabutuke Mati Useketit 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 Okay, one more to go. I will have to start another session for Lang people. All right, this one is also from the Book of Breathings, and it's a chant for Jehuti and Maat. It's one of my favorite. The translation is Nuk a Jehuti, I am Jehuti. Maat Zebi Maat. Maat has effectiveness and expresses through me. Ra Neb Im Neferu. Daily I express beauty and goodness without fail. Perennially I experience well-being and positive feeling. So I'm going to leave you with this chant. This is how I close out my Maati prayer sessions. Nuka Jehuti, Maat Sebi Maat. 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 Ranebim Neferu. Ranebim Neferu. Ranebim Neferu. Ranebim Neferu. Nuka Jehuti, Maat Sebi Maat. 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 Ranebim Neferu. Ranebim Neferu. Ranebim Neferu. Ranebim Neferu. Okay, I just want to get that in there. Dua, this has been a marathon session. Dua for being here for this ancient African adorations to Goddess Maat. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for worship of Goddess Aset. Information on the wisdom teachings, EgyptianYoga.com. Get your own calendar from templeofamun.com. Find my music. Just search Tachia Ahmet on Spotify, YouTube, your favorite channels, Tachia.com, and wellness, pinhole glasses, everything else, lightbeingwellness.com, openyourmoneyflow.com, Cash App, $ Ahmet El Maat, Dua Maat, Dua to all of you for being here. Hatep, Dua Maat. was going to end on its own. Dua, thank you. I'll be here tomorrow morning. Oh my goodness. Look at all these comments. I missed them because I had the wisdom teachings. Let's see. Okay. I know, reading a book online. Oh, I'm sorry that I missed your comments. There were so many books. I'm going to make a video about the books. I talked about Dr. Ashby's Tree of Life, the Kemetic Tree of Life. I talked about the no, he's still there. I talked about the Volume 2, Mysteries, Egyptian Book of the Dead, Egyptian translation, and the Neter prayer book. So I hope that answers your question. And I apologize, I had the wisdom teachings up and I didn't see all of these questions, and I had people stopping by. Thank you, Patrick. He's always saying that I'm doing a wonderful job teaching. Thank you. I'm going to have a wonderful day. I'm having a great winter solstice. I learned so much yesterday. And I will be here tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for Worship of Goddess Ushet. And I don't think it's going to be 2 hours, but who knows. Dua Hatap. Thank you.